Colonizer's Diary. The year 2050. We're on Mars. If you are reading this book now, in the year 2050, none of the following will seem strange to you. Except, perhaps, memories from the past of a time when there were no cell phones and the internet, and people didn't fly into space as often as they do now. Or maybe you'll be surprised by the presence of television and radio stations. For 20 years on Mars, mankind has not just changed, it has made such a strong technological breakthrough that it is impossible to imagine that even 30 years ago people were not fully confident in the possibility of colonizing Mars. But first things first. Why did we come here? Someone came here to create a scientific base to explore Mars and the outer planets of the solar system and to mine for minerals. Some are here to create a backup of humanity. For some, it's just a place to escape to when the Earth goes into some kind of global turmoil. The inhabitants of planet Earth have created so many new technologies, but they haven't learned how to control them. And at any moment there could be a situation when mankind would destroy itself. Therefore, a place of salvation far away from this was the fixed idea of many progressive minds of the Earth. Besides new technologies, of course, climate change and meteorites and comets, the collision with which seemed inevitable, also suggested thoughts of imminent escape and the need to organize a colony away from our home planet. And yes, we are the ones who first traveled to Mars. Some earlier, some more recently. But what are the reasons that really brought us here? New technologies? Climate change? Meteorites? Comets? No, that's all excuses. We just wanted to get out of the proverbial comfort zone. We wanted something new, unexplored, new adventures, sensations, emotions. And we got it all. To be honest, even Elon Musk didn't really believe in our Mars colony at first. To him, it was just business. People have always wanted to invest in pipe dreams, otherwise it would be too easy to buy opportunities. But it is interesting to explore the incomprehensible, to conceive what no one has ever done. In general, in this new year, 2050, I would like to summarize the results of our 20-year stay here. Whether long or short, in the scale of the universe it is, of course, an instant. But for a human being, it's a fifth of a lifetime. But of course, that's how it works out. Let us return once again to the main question: why did we come here 20 years ago? It is human nature to always want something more than they already have or something completely different, something new and unexplored. As I have written before, Elon Musk himself, the father and founder of our colony, at the very beginning did not really believe in the real possibility of settling on Mars for a long time. In the beginning, he needed the topic of Mars to attract investment in his other projects. As they say, nothing personal, just business. Projects like the Mars mission have always attracted attention and received huge funding. This is exactly the path that Elon took. In this respect, he is a really talented businessman and has always been able to gather amazing people around him. It was these people who believed in his dream so much that they made it possible to create a colony on Mars. What the 19th and 20th century writers wrote in their fantasy novels had already been realized and put into practice. Mankind needed a fresh idea. And Elon, as a talented businessman, sensed it. And he gave it. This very idea became not just an idea, but a new religion, a kind of spiritual path for some people. Because everything on Earth was already there. There are not many white spots left. And the thirst for adventure, exploration of new places and conquest of uncharted territories had never been cancelled in human nature. So it was important to switch to something that was least explored. Mars was best suited for this mission to become a big, ambitious, and somewhere unfulfilled goal. On planet Earth, everything is already organized and clear, predictable, and therefore uninteresting. Humanity needs to satisfy its thirst for new experiences somehow. Otherwise, life loses its colors. And it loses its meaning too. Even the big social experiment called COVID-2019 did not bring renewal. And the Third World War, in which my home country Ukraine suffered a lot, did not bring anything new, except the global redistribution of monetary resources that had accumulated in the world community during the pandemic. People started to feel sad, they had nothing to do, and everything already seemed hopeless. It was at that moment, and that is why we opened the door to a new dimension, Mars. It was a salvation for our bodies, souls, and even brains. And we all have Elon Musk to thank for this magical place. But I still haven't told you about the main thing. Why did I go there? From the point of view of the mind, as a creative states coach, I was the hope of the expedition participants that they would not go crazy in this new world. I helped them manage their emotions and physical state during the flight and during the period of adaptation in a completely unfamiliar environment. And I can say that it was the best decision of my life to be part of this experiment. We breathed the same air, literally and figuratively. It was as if we were one organism, and that really helped us overcome all the difficulties. And if I am honest with you, as with myself, the main reason for my flight is quite banal. I was running. I was running away from myself and my feelings. I was running from unfulfilled hopes in my personal relationships. Like a cobbler without boots, like a doctor who is sick all the time, I missed the moment when my mental state could be equalized and not sink into the pain of loss and disappointment. It's banal and simple. We broke up with a loved one and I couldn't cope. I wanted to run away. I've done that before. It didn't work very well, but it did make me feel better for a while. So when I was invited to an interview to be selected for a future expedition, I didn't hesitate for a second. And after I passed it and was allowed to take my 20-year-old daughter with me, and she didn't mind, I realized that I had nothing to keep me on this planet at all. I was completely immersed in this adventure. Were the goals of our flight realized? More yes than no. Everything was even better and more interesting than we had imagined. We did not just create a colony on Mars, we established communication with extraterrestrial civilizations, installed teleportation portals to communicate with Earth, and thanks to this, space tourism developed as well as possible. Of course, such vacations were not affordable for ordinary people. And ordinary people did not aspire to such travels. Most Earthlings just went on with their regular zombie lives in front of the TV with a can of beer in their hand and very down-to-earth desires. Nothing personal, just a statement of fact. Meanwhile, the planet Mars was slowly turning into a blooming oasis. Everything here was strictly by the rules. And since they were directly related to survival, everyone obediently followed them. No one showed off or tried to change anything. Today, our new civilization is only 20 years old. And it is so great to be at its origins. We live in an atmosphere of creativity, positivity, and harmony. And those who come to us, especially for the first time, are so absorbed by new sensations and impressions that they do not disturb this harmony created by us either. There is no alcohol, drugs, or cigarettes on our new planet. What we expand consciousness with and how we enjoy ourselves is totally ecological breathing, meditative, and body practices. That's why we have everyone looking like gods and goddesses from books. And the reason is trivial. Smoke from cigarettes or any smoking mixtures can destroy the oxygen dome of our planet. And the state of alcohol intoxication in such a concentration of fresh air as we have here suggests an instant and long sleep. It is impossible to get as drunk here as on the planet Earth, and therefore alcohol has lost all meaning here. The psychological state of the inhabitants of Mars does not make them want to drink. There is simply no stress here that is usually fueled by alcohol on planet Earth. People here enjoy completely different things and states of mind. And that is partly to my credit, too. The cult of states of inspiration, euphoria, and pleasure makes us all happy here. Especially the new generation my daughter's age. They no longer remember what suffering is in the earthly sense. They just get high from life and enjoy every moment. So to the question, have your expectations from the colonization of Mars been met? My answer is, completely. And more. So welcome to my perfect world, the world of happy people.